What's going on, YouTube familia? Today we're going to bring you something new. So we are calling this playlist Business and Life Real Talk. And this is episode 1 of Business and Life Real Talk. So what are we going to be covering within this new playlist? Well, what I wanted to do was I wanted to give the audience, any of our followers, our subscribers, or any, businesses, business owners, or person who has a business opportunity. I wanted to give y'all just a little bit of a peek, not specifically inside, but just, having that person that can talk to you about what you're going through because we've been through it is a very valuable tool to have in your toolbox, if you will. So again, this is going to be episode 1, right? And this is Business and Life Real Talk. So that's kind of like the whole purpose of this playlist. We're going to cover actual topics that you need to know, and we're just going to talk about it. There's going to be no fancy editing, nothing flying around the screen or anything like that. No B-roll, none of that stuff. This is just stuff that you need from somebody who's been there before and somebody who's done that. Right. And then we also are going to get some interviews within this as well with some of our clients and some of our other partners within the YouTube community. So this is going to be very fun. I've been waiting to unleash this playlist, if you will, for a while. So I'm super, super excited about that. And that pretty much is the purpose of this playlist. So I wanted to call it, because, the name of the company is PMS. So I wanted to call it PMS Minutes. But my company wouldn't let me do that. So we have a very democratic, we're a very democratic society within Parham Marketing Solutions. And for those of you who don't know, I am Les Parham. I am the owner and founder of Parham Marketing Solutions, PMS LLC. We are the #1 digital marketing and digital advertisement firm in the great state of Texas, the Lone Star State. We're home ported in San Antonio, but we have worldwide reach. And we do this YouTube channel, actually for a while, to be honest with you, for a while, I didn't want to do the YouTube channel. A lot of people at the company were telling me to do the YouTube channel. But one of the big reasons why we came back to, our YouTube platform is I think it's important. And I think what happens is when you've been in business for so long, you kind of forget what it took to get you where you're at, right? Like you forget the journey. Everybody always sees the after the fact. Like they see the houses, the cars, the money, the clothes, they see all that stuff, but nobody sees the grind, right? Nobody sees the hours studying, the multiple courses, the running around trying to figure things out. Nobody sees the fight, the day-to-day struggle. And that's really what entrepreneurship is. So for me, when we finally got back to our YouTube channel, what I wanted to do was I wanted to create a safe space, not only for our audience, but for any entrepreneur out there. This is worldwide, right? We're on YouTube. Any entrepreneur out there, any business out there, any business owner out there, doesn't matter, small, medium, large, startups, nonprofits, this is your safe space, right? And so what do we do here? We're a business education channel, right? And so I use my knowledge and my company's wherewithal, I guess you could say, and we educate you on how to incorporate digital marketing and digital advertisement into your business. Because believe it or not, a lot of people just don't know, right? So that's the whole purpose behind our YouTube channel. That's who I am. But like I said, the purpose behind this playlist, which is Business and Life Real Talk, is episode 1 of Business and Life Real Talk. We just want to, just to have that voice in your ear of somebody who knows where you're coming from, who knows what you've been through, who understands the sleepless nights, who understands how to get funding, who understands the ability to not get funding, who understands crowdfunding. What is that, right? Who understands how to build the business from the ground up and how to be successful at doing that. The important thing here for anybody listening to the sound of my voice, the important thing here, the message that I want to share with you, you better believe if I can do it, you 1000% can do it. If we can do it, you can do it. Right. And it's just, when you're an entrepreneur, especially when you're first starting, it's very, very difficult to see the end. Right. But I'm here to tell you, brother, I'm here to tell you, sister, I'm here to tell you, family, you too, familia. Right. The end is closer than you think. And the problem is, a lot of times people will see, like the whole problem, whatever it is. Right. And for those of you who know, I'm a veteran. I did 24 years in the military before I retired. And then I started this business. Right. But for those of you who know, think of it like this. If you were going to go to war, you're never going to win the war in just one battle. It'll never happen. It's physically impossible, right? In order to win the war, you have to fight the small battles. You have to get good at the terrain. You have to, there's a whole bunch of things you have to learn, right? All my old school Army guys, right? Met TC, Akoka, right? They know what I'm talking about. So these are all, you have to build your way up to that. Okay. And then, because of what we see on TV, social media, everybody sees everybody who's already successful, and they believe that they can do that as well. And you very well can. But please understand that it takes hard work. Nothing is given to you in this life, right? Nothing at all is given to you in this life. And for those folks who really know me, one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to do this YouTube channel, because again, there's no sponsors for our YouTube channel. We sponsor everything ourselves. So I guess you could say my company is the sponsor. We're our own sponsor, right? The whole purpose of this YouTube channel is to give those business owners and those entrepreneurs a voice, to give those business owners and entrepreneurs an outlet, and more importantly, to give those business owners and entrepreneurs a step up, because we remember how it was when we first started. In the military, when you PCS, i.e. you go from one duty station to the next, you go from one job to the next, right? You get to your new job. And if the person you're relieving was a good soldier, sailor, Marine, airman, whatever, right? Then that person left you a pass down log. And basically, for my civilians out there who don't know, a pass down log is pretty much a book that describes everything that you should do within this position, right? So it's got duty, title, description, all that stuff. And it tells you to a T, if it's a good one, right? What you should do in that position. When I retired, I got in the civilian world, I got into business, and I found out that doesn't exist. Like, there's no continuity, right? Your competition will not help you. When you're an entrepreneur, you're on your own, right? There are a lot of small business owners out there who are solopreneurs, meaning they're a business of one, right? And I understand all that because we've been through those struggles. And that's the purpose of this YouTube channel. That is the purpose of Business and Life Real Talk, right? We want to make a safe space for y'all. So, let the word out. Let your people know, let your friends know, let your, whoever, just let them know that we're here and that we're here for you, especially if you are a small business owner or entrepreneur or any size business owner, right? Medium, large, it doesn't matter. We're going to cover a lot of topics here. I'm not for sure of how far ahead we are, but we're pretty far ahead. So by the time you see this, we'll probably be another month ahead, something like that. So, anyways, I say all that just to say this: nobody's forcing me to do this YouTube channel the way that we're doing it. I mean, they couldn't force me if they wanted to, right? I own a company, but this is important because this is something that I wish I had when I first got out and when I was trying to kind of figure out my life as a civilian, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, as a father, as a husband. It was just very difficult because nobody was really in my situation. You know what I'm saying? And I know there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of people out there who are just grinding every single day, grinding on that business, grinding on that business opportunity, trying to go to business meetings. You got kids in the back crying, yelling, trying to do this, trying to do that, transportation, all these things. I understand. I understand. And I want you to know that we've been there before, right? And the purpose of this is to make your job as the business owner or as the entrepreneur just a little bit easier, right? By teaching you for free. This only requires a payment of your time, teaching you for free how to utilize digital marketing within your business, number one. And then number two, how to get your mind right, right? Because that's a lot of what business is, and we have other playlists. I keep wanting to call it threads for some reason. I don't know why. We have other playlists on our YouTube channel that are really good too, like Business Education 101, basic business principles that every entrepreneur should know. And then, business education via digital marketing. We started another one, business education via digital advertisement. And if you don't know the difference between, so the word is advertisement, and advertisement is the art of advertising online, right? So it's a little bit different. So a traditional commercial is a little bit different. Putting an ad in a magazine or a newspaper is a little bit different than it is going online. And so we're putting this stuff together to make your lives just a little bit easier, right? All you got to do is watch us and put it on repeat. And it is my strong hope and prayer that it somehow helps and blesses somebody out there. And I hope and pray that whatever we're doing here will not only make your life easier, but it will make your business flow and just be a blessing upon you, your life, your family, and also the world. Whenever we do these, so y'all keep seeing me looking down, and the reason why I'm looking down is because I have a little notepad with 3 questions that I want to make sure that I answer right within this topic. So one of the big questions that I wanted to make sure that I answer is, why is this so important to me within my life, right? And the reason why is this. So I knew when I left the military that I was never going to work for anybody again. I knew that, and a lot of y'all have been in the workforce a lot longer than 24 years, and much respect to you, right? But I knew, my last year in, I knew you just having so many bosses that you were just smarter than, just flat out is what it was, or that you may have been better than in whatever aspect. Right. But then having to listen to them because of a rank structure, right? Or not getting paid your just due or just worth because of a pay grade. I knew when it was time for me to retire, and I knew when I finally retired, I was never going to work for anybody else ever again. Right. My only bosses in this life are God, number one, Jesus, right? The Holy Spirit. Unfortunately, I hate to admit it, but my wife, she's pretty much the commander in chief, and them kids when they ain't stressing me out, the city, county, state, the Fed, right? But, and I was just really blessed to kind of be able to just fight and kind of figure it out. And then now we're doing great. Right. And, one of the biggest things of why I want to do this and why I continue doing this in terms of the YouTube channel, and then in terms of like how, I go about teaching business and digital marketing to y'all. So it is my opinion and my belief, and you don't have to agree with me. That's fine. It is my opinion and my belief that the world as we know it, Earth, is in a very sad state of affairs. Anybody with 2 eyes can see that, right? And you can take that for what it's worth. And so the question is, well, how do we fix it? How do we change it? And I thought to myself deeply about how would I go about doing that. And then, one day it finally dawned on me, and I said to myself, one morning after reflection, I said, well, Les, you got to think about it. You have, in my, what was that movie? Oh man, I forget the movie, but Liam Neeson, he's a good actor. I have a particular set of skills, right? But like you, when it comes to this business thing, when it comes to marketing, like you excel in that greatly. Obviously, it's been proven, you know. So, and I think to myself, I said, okay, well, how can I use this to help other people outside of creating a business and then selling a service or services and then charging them for it, right? Because yes, that is helping, but is it really helping, right? So, and that's kind of the format, the backstory behind why we're going so hard on the YouTube channel. Because I believe that because the planet is in such a sad state of affairs, that business is one thing that can actually help the world greatly, right? So now think about what I'm going to say, okay? Because I know a lot of people have different views upon money and stuff like that, right? When you really think about what I'm getting ready to say, it will touch home a little bit. A lot of people say, well, politicians, they run the country, or, the government, they run the world. And I will say that is true, but I've learned in my tender old age to look past that. Where are they getting the funding to do what it is that they do? They're getting the funding from businesses. Think about that, right? They're getting the funding from businesses. And as much as we don't like to admit it, money really does run the world. And so how do you generate more money? How do you create wealth? Well, in my opinion, you do that through business. And if it's one thing that I know, it's how to take a business, any business, and how to make it successful. That's why I'm in marketing. You understand? So it is my belief that this YouTube channel is our way of injecting all this knowledge back into the world. Right. And I've said this in many, many videos, our clients pay us for the stuff that I tell you freely. And I'm not lying when I say that. Our clients pay us for the stuff that I tell you freely. And that's a fact. All you have to do is listen and implement it within your business. And I guarantee you, your business will be light years better than what it was before, especially if you're not already online, or if you're online, but you're not doing it properly. Right. That's the whole purpose of digital marketing. And I believe if there was some type of tool or a vehicle where you could inject more money into a community, into an environment, city, county, state, subdivision, whatever, ultimately that place would be better. Why? Because the roads would be better. The schools would be better. The buildings would be better, right? Just money flowing in the economy. It just makes things better overall, better schools, better hospitals, better supplies, better education, right? And so it is my opinion that, I can still no longer in the military, so not trying to save the world anymore, right? But I can still do my little part by doing this. And like I said before, I hope and pray that somebody who hears the sound of my voice, you can hear what I'm saying. And I hope and pray that it resonates with you. I am doing this for you because I want to see you succeed. It is just that simple, because I strongly, wholeheartedly believe that if your business can succeed, this other person's business can succeed, and this other person's business can succeed, and this other person's business can succeed. And then what starts to happen is when people start to change their lives, they start to change how they move. They start to change how they operate, right? And what it does overall, it creates a better society. This is easily proved. I mean, look at a third world country, no money, versus a tier one country. They have money. There's a huge difference there, right? So that is the main reason why I'm going so hard on the YouTube channel. Um, and we don't have a set time for when we record or when we do anything like that. A lot of the videos are shot when our day is already over at the job. So a lot of the videos are shot very, very late. So if y'all see me looking all crazy or talking slow, that's the reason why I'm tired. But I refuse to go home. I refuse to get off before my mission is complete. And my mission is very simple. I got this word and I want to put that word out there for y'all because I feel like y'all deserve it. Right. So that's what this playlist is. That's the reason why I want to do it. That's the reason why I personally got into business. And then really the last thing that I want to cover, because each one of the business and life real talk episodes, I want to cover at least 3 topics. So I don't want to take up 4 or 5 hours, just maybe, 30, 35 minutes, something like that. Just, something that you can listen to real quick in the car on the drive to work, get your mind right and then go in there and just seize the day. Carpe diem. Right. So the last thing is, and I'll probably do another one on this one because it's important to me, what it actually takes to become an entrepreneur. So, man, that's a big topic. And I might even do another one just on this, but I will tell you this. Being an entrepreneur is one of the hardest jobs I've ever had in my life, but it's also one of the most beautiful jobs I've had in my life, right? Hard because of the growth that had to happen, the beating that I had to take, the bending and mending that I had to go through, but beautiful because I still remember when my first employee sent her middle son to college off of the strength of the money that she made with our company. Mind blown, right? So beautiful in the fact of I still remember, though it was years ago, I still remember the first company that we helped, and they were in the process of closing doors. And now that company has multiple locations all over the panhandle. We did that. We did that together, right? So it can be a very difficult and a very beautiful thing. But the main point that I want to drive home with y'all quickly is this. Understand, you too familiar. If you're going to be an entrepreneur, you got to get after it every single day. There's no cheat code. Listen to what I'm saying. There's no cheat code. There's no easy way. Ain't going to be easy. Don't even think about it being easy. You have to get up every single day thinking you're going to get punched in the face, because that's what being an entrepreneur is. I've said this before. I'll say it again. You are a professional firefighter because all you do is put out fires, right? When you first start, you're a business of one. That will eventually change. Your job is to work yourself out of that job, i.e. out of being a business of one, and to get some employees and to grow and expand, to scale, right? And then it kind of goes from there. And eventually when your business gets big enough, you then become a leader, right? Which is a whole different topic. Okay. But I will tell you this, there's nothing quick about entrepreneurship, right? It's not McDonald's. You can't pull up and, get you a whatever with cheese. None of that's going to happen. Okay. You got to get after it every single day. And if you have a mentor in your ear telling you it's going to be easy, they're lying. I'm telling you right now, they're lying. Right. My wife, if she was here, she would testify and she would tell you what we went through when we first started this business. She would tell you about the sleepless nights. She would tell you about the panic attacks, the headaches. She would tell you about just everything that we went through in order to get this business off the ground. But it's all worth it because now I am where I want to be. You understand? And I can say this now, right? Because we're here now. Okay. And I understand that people listening, they might not be where they want to be just yet. But what I will tell you is do not stop. You win the war by winning the small battles. That's it. That's it. If you want to get 100% better, right? Person A will say, well, it's hard for me to get 100% better. I can't get 100% better. You are correct, person A. It is hard to get 100% better. But let me tell you what person B is going to do. Person B is going to look at that same scenario and is going to say, well, I can't get 100% better in one day, but I'll tell you what I can do. I can go over here. I can grab this resource. I can get 2% better today. I can go over here. I can grab this resource. I can get with this mentor. I can get 1 or 2% better today. I can go back over here. I can get a course, right? Scrounge some money together, get a course. I can study my ass off. I can take this course and I can get 2% better today. That's 3 days. That person got 5 or 6% better. If that person continues, I guarantee you person B will be 100% plus or more better far sooner and far greater than person A ever will. Why? Because person B is a person of action. And that is what you have to be if you want to become an entrepreneur. That's it. Every day, your existence, you have to do something. You got to move forward day by day, one foot in front of the other. Keep stepping until you get what you want out of this life or the next. And that is what being an entrepreneur is all about. And if you look around the channel, you'll find plenty of videos about being an entrepreneur. I'll talk about it time and time again. But the biggest thing that I want you to know, don't quit, don't stop, don't ever quit, don't ever stop. Don't do it. Don't do it, right? When you finally get to where you want to be, it's going to be better than what you ever thought it would. And you got to trust me on this. And you have to believe. And I know not everybody's religious, so I apologize for what I'm getting ready to say. But I will tell you this. I am not the most religious person, but I am spiritual, right? And I am a Christian. So I do believe in God. I do believe in Jesus and the Holy Spirit. And I believe that they left us a book, right? This book is known as the Bible. And it is the Bible. It is the basic instructions before leaving Earth. So it is your guide that tells you what to do while you're here. Well, how does that apply to business, Les? It's a good question. Thanks for asking. Let me answer it for you, right? I will also tell you this. Any door that God opens for you in your business, no man will ever be able to close. But on that same token, any door that God closes for you, no man will ever be able to open. So think about what I'm saying, because if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. And that's just how it goes, right? If God has something for you, then it's for you and your business, and nobody could ever take it away. So in the end, right, if you're successful, or if you are blessed enough to become highly successful, then it was always for that to happen to you. All right. Whatever door God opens for you is for you, and no man can close it. And I will tell y'all, learn to trust in yourself, and you got to keep grinding. Just win every single day. How did that song go? All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Right? Small victories are still victories. You have to win small battles in order to win the war. Believe in yourself, trust in yourself, and walk in the light. Right? And now I'm looking at my watch. We've been on this for a little bit. Again, I don't want to get too carried away. I don't want to over talk it. But just so y'all know, Peace Corner, right? This is at Peace Corner 433. I am Les Parham. This is our YouTube channel. We are YouTube's #1 business education channel, where we teach you how to integrate digital marketing and digital advertising into your business. And this specific playlist is Business and Life Real Talk. This is episode 1, the introduction. See y'all soon. Have a great one. Be blessed. And if you're an entrepreneur or small business owner, go out there and get after it.